So I got a job as a cop. It was actually pretty easy. Basically on par with a Vietnam War veteran, so that definitely helped my case. And I think they saw my unique capabilities.
We have a new assignment for you!
Okay, new assignment. Let's see what they got for me. You are tasked with hunting down a serial killer that is on a killing spree. It says that no cop can find him, and you have to find him. This is lame. I'm going to talk about Sly Cooper.
The PS2 was awesome. This console had everything. A DVD player, backwards compatibility, and some of the most amazing series the video game industry had ever seen. Just to name a few, you got Ratchet & Clank, Spyro, God of War, Jak and Daxter, and the Thievius raccoon, Sly Cooper. I mean, when you have all these amazing mascots, you're gonna have a successful console. And guess what? The PS2 was the most successful console ever made. Developers at the time of the PS2 just wanted someone to represent their company, much like how Mario represented Nintendo, and Sucker Punch one day was like, what about a coon? I think they wanted to stand out stylistically because everyone at the time was either looking the most f***ing realistic that they could or the most cartoony they could. But Sly was the only one that was cel-shaded.
I really like this style. It makes the game feel like a noir-style cartoon show, and the way the story is conveyed really hits that point home.
The premise is fairly simple. We play as Sly Cooper and his band of friends, Murray and Bentley, as they are on a mission to retrieve the lost Thievius Raccoonus book from the Fiendish Five. Bam! Nice, easy, and simple. We even have a tragic backstory and a forbidden love interest because it's a tongue-in-cheek noir film, and last I checked, those are super mandatory in that genre. We snack around by jumping, climbing an assortment of stuff, and by hugging walls. That's the base of it, so super simple, but luckily, the charisma of our lead characters keep us engaged. The characters in this game are pretty one-note and don't really change from beginning to end, but they have a lot of charm. Just listening to Bentley, Murray, and Sly in itself is a ton of fun, and these personalities really help carry the story. The story is broken up into 5 different sections, each one having a really stylish noir title card.
Again, I'm coming back to the style here on this one, but I just can't get over these aesthetics. Even each villain that each area of the game is based on have their own unique style and feel.
Games on the clock?
See, the Fiendish Five killed our family.
What a bunch of assholes.
And each of them ripped up the family book, the Thievius Raccoonus, so our Mission Impossible team is out to get the book restored. First up, we got Raleigh. This snowball frog, turned board, turned pirate, turned engineer, is set off the coast of Wales, and it is our job to make sure that we get his portion of the Thievius Raccoonus. Raleigh's sitting pretty in his weather machine that is used to crash other ships so he can loot them, so Sly in the game must collect 7 keys to unlock an interest into his machine. Once in, Sly goes toe-to-toe with the frog pirate, and once defeated, he points us in the direction of the next Fiendish Five member. Each of these 7 keys that you need to get into the entrance are found throughout the area. 75% of them are stealth platforming levels, and these are so much fun. They're super linear, but the designers do a couple of things to keep them interesting. You can sneak around enemies, attack those enemies head on, find clue bottles in the area, or after you beat the level, you can also go back and do a speed run of it. The other 25% of levels are what I call gimmick levels. These levels are clearly more experimental. These usually have Sly hopping in a turret or vehicle for you to go from point A to point B and to get a key. And that is the outline of the core gameplay loop of the game. We'll find a Fiendish Five member, complete some missions, get 7 keys going through 7 missions, find the boss, and bada bing, bada boom, we're done. And we're going to repeat this same set of events until the last area.
But we'll get to that in due time. I'm still on Top Hat McFrogger here.
The Isle of Wrath is actually a good starting point to set up this entire world. The levels have all these cool crash ships and generators, and you get to fight off an endless amount of crab robots to get a key in one of them. Raleigh's boss fight wasn't really anything to write home about. It was a pretty run-of-the-mill boss fight for platformers, all things considered. I will say that the dialogue versus animation really puts a smile on my face for all the wrong reasons.
You in size and squashing you like the insignificant bug that you are.
Anyways, next up we have a dog that has the body of a human but is buff and uses his arms to move around. I can finally mark that off my list.
Mugshot looks weird and is the stereotypical muggy buff bad guy. He's a bulldog tough guy chilling out in not Las Vegas, so Raccoon Butch Cassidy here tries to push forward so he can find the 7 keys to enter his fire hydrant casino building thing.
I know, that's like saying that you own a restaurant and the only thing you serve is tuna and it looks like a litter box.
Now, Las Vegas had some pretty cool ideas in it. The road leading up to the casino has some bosses that are tipping back and forth so they could fall off at any moment, construction cranes, and all kinds of crazy stuff that you get to interact with. Once you get into the casino, it's cool, but very impractical. Like, one level of the casino is flooded with electrical water, and I can't help but think, what is this? No one will walk around while this hazard would be happening.
Why can't games be more realistic?
This area had more of the random vehicle turret missions built into them. They're not bad by any means, but I definitely like the normal stealth levels just a little bit more. The drag racing was really fun though. I did enjoy that. Mugshot's battle was a quick one because we got to use the power of the sun to defeat our enemy.
I knew I chose the right day to wear this shirt.
Up next, we have a villain that's going to be a pair of boots in the future and some voodoo magics. Miss Ruby is a mystic specialist of the Fiendish Five, and the Swamp Hideout is easily one of the coolest looking areas in the game. There is so much one can do with voodoo and mystical stuff in a cartoon setting, and Sucker Punch does not disappoint. These areas have you sneaking between some bad guys and the deadly bog that the hideout is slowly sinking into. Full creativity is on display here, like ghosts coming out after you, and the only way that you can get rid of them is by destroying the grave that they are buried at. I mean, grave robbing is one of my favorite pastimes. Miss Ruby's battle is actually kind of cool, as it's a weird rhythm heaven type of fight. This is really cool, but just a fair warning, if you play it on the PS3 remastered version, there's some really weird sync delay on it.
Maybe I'm missing something here. It's either me or the PS3 version I decided to take a look at, and I know it's not me because my lobotomy procedure turned out completely fine, so it has to be something with the PS3 version.
Next, Sly, Bentley, and Murray head to the mountainous areas of China to retrieve the fourth part of the Thievius Raccoonus from Kung Fu Panda. The Panda King is the explosive expert of the five, and he likes things that go boom. Fireworks are the name of the game, and each mission has cool ways to integrate destruction with the 4th of July missiles. The snow makes some really nice aesthetic changes, but all of these missions feature bottomless pits, and apparently double jumping messes up the trajectory. I told you, it's not me, my lobotomy went fine! Jack Black here meets up with Sly at top of the dojo, and through dodging fireballs, we karate sumo fight him to victory. This fight is kinda cool. The bamboo-eating king is in the center of a room, and we have to work our way up to him 4 or 5 times to beat him down. This is what I like to call a... And finally, we head to the final area of the game. Okay, so this part is kind of a stretch for me. See, the final member of the 2+3 crew is a giant mecha owl named Clockwork, who's really the archenemy of the Koopa family line. This part isn't at all what upsets me. It's actually a really cool idea, and it fits perfectly in the world that's been established.
See, there's only one problem with this. They set up this concept right before you go into Clockwork's area.
That's like saying right before the end of this, I say that my lobotomy turned out bad. It didn't, I'm totally fine, I swear, but it just gets the feeling that it's out of nowhere. So it's hard for me to feel anything, but they wanted to make the last area feel meaningful, so they decided in the last minute to make the Robo Lollipop Owl our true enemy. Look, Sucker Punch, a giant mecha owl we fight in a jetpack is more than enough to feel like a final boss, I promise. Anyway, this area forgoes the core gameplay loop established previously for a more linear approach. No clues to collect or speedrunning, just straight story. Our Mystery Machine crew break into the volcano base to find that Carmilla has been kidnapped. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that she was actually in this game until now. Carmilla the Fox is a forbidden love interest I mentioned earlier, and she tries to catch Sly and his gang throughout the story. However, Clockwork has trapped her, but trying to save her is actually trapped, so Bentley is there to undo the trap with his cyber skills. With Sly up and ready to go, we head farther into the volcano for the final fight. This boss fight was actually a ton of fun. It's a vehicle section, so you have to team up with Carmelita and take down the owl. She shoots Clockwork to stun him, and you have to shoot at the vulnerable spot to bring him on down. After knocking him out, we climb up and finish him off, retrieving the last part of the Thievius Raccoonus.
Anyways, glad I got done with that game. I'm glad no one saw me, because I could have actually lost my job from that. And I'm glad my lobotomy came back just fine, so I can keep working normally. Ooh. Yes?
Hi, Kevin. This is your friendly neighborhood doctor, just to let you know that the procedure went completely wrong and your brain is
Damn!